There's a quote by Marcus Aurelius that I want to read. It says, "Is any man afraid of change? What can take place without change? What then is more pleasing or suitable for the universal nature? And can you take a hot bath unless the wood for the fire undergoes a change? And can you be nourished unless the food undergoes a change? And can anything else that is useful be accomplished without change? Do you not see then that for yourself also to change is just the same and equally necessary for the universal nature?" I bring this quote up um, because there was a part of me that wanted to make a motivational video and get everybody hyped up. Yeah, yeah, let's go. And I just, no. No. So I was walking home from the gym and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. I go to sleep. Maybe I sleep 4 hours. Usually it's like 4 hours. Sometimes six, rarely eight. Okay, cool. I sleep at. I remember I even slept 8 hours. I slept 8 hours on Sunday, right? And today, she was cool. Um, but I felt like I hadn't slept in 2 days when I woke up. Every time I wake up, I feel like I still haven't slept in 2 days. There was a point in which I hadn't been sick in 2 years. I got sick twice in the last 2 months. The fuck is going on, right? Like, what the hell is what is that? Perhaps it's the food I'm consuming, the beverages I consume, but maybe, right? Maybe, and I have to, like, audit that. I have to look at everything and say, okay, this is. I need to stop that. I need to do this more or whatever. But I'm just tired of being tired, right? I'm tired of being the reason I fail. I'm tired of being the reason I'm not successful. Because if you really look at things, right? If you really look at it, there is a point at which you are now, and there is the point which you wish to reach. The only thing that stands, but if you ask yourself the question, what is it that stands between the point I'm at right now and the point I wish to reach? What is it that stands between, like, what's bridging the gap between us? What prevents me from being that guy right now? The only answer is you. You are what stands in your own way. Your current habits, your characteristics, your thought patterns, the thoughts you think, the views you take, the perspectives the way in which you look at life, the lens through which you look, the people you engage with, your patterns, the way you move, the just everything about you. You are the thing that prevents you from being him. And I said to myself, I'm sick and tired of falling to my own hand, of being defeated by my own sword. You are the enemy. You are the problem, and you are also the solution. You're also the only one that can save you, that can help you, that can fix you, that can defeat you and turn you into what you want to be, and curate that life you wish to live. And of course, I'd thought these thoughts before, but I'd never, like, said it as loud as I did today. I hate the fact that I keep doing things, I keep sabotaging my own success, my own opportunities. And I do these things because, again, like the quote by Marcus Aurelius. That's why I started with the quote. We all do these things because we are afraid of change. We're afraid of things not being the way we know them to be, right? Because when things change, we sort of get lost. And if you're forced to change, if you're forced to let go of what it is that you are, you lose this. You're no longer able to identify with anything. And it's funny how that's exactly what needs to happen, but it's a very dangerous path to walk because it's very dangerous. Let's just say that. But we're so afraid of change that we would actively do any and everything we can, everything in our power to ensure that things stay the same, even if it means killing us, even if it means killing ourselves. We would continue to consume the food we consume because we don't want to change. We hate change. We will continue to consume the beverages we consume, the substances we consume, whatever it is. We'll continue to do the things we do because we hate change. We want things to stay the same because when things are the same, they're predictable. And when things are predictable, they're not scary because we have a sort of understanding of how things are and how they will play out. But when things are unpredictable, we're lost and we're afraid because we stand in the unknown. And it's like, we hate that as a species. We hate that as human beings. We just absolutely hate it. We hate change, which means we hate growth. There's a quote, I forget who said it, but I could find the person. I always try to credit the person who said it, but they said tradition is our security, and when the mind is secure, it is in decay. When the mind is secure, it is in decay. When the mind is secure, it is in decay. We want that, right? There's a part of us that fights for that. Interestingly enough, we fight for our minds to be in a state of decay, for things to be safe and secure, safety and security, right? I mean, sure, there's reason behind it. There's a valid argument for it, but it's like, to a degree, sure, but there's a degree to which that exact same thing becomes the problem. And that's what's happening with me. And perhaps with you as well. That's why you're watching this sort of content. Who knows? But I'm tired of that dominating, ruling my life. I'm tired of that being the thing, being the reason I'm not successful, being the reason I don't get what I want, or I'm not who I want to be because I'm afraid of change. And in being afraid of change, I self sabotage or I procrastinate certain things. I literally posted my first video yesterday. I've been making videos for like months or some shit. And I posted the first one yesterday. Why? I guess maybe creating a backlog of videos. No, I was procrastinating. There's no other reason. I did not want to commit. There was a fear of committing, a fear of success, and a fear of realizing the failure if I fail, right? Because when you start something, you can fail, you can lose. And if you don't start, well, you'll never really fail. So you feel better about yourself because you didn't try. So you didn't fail, you know? But no, I hate that. I genuinely despise that. And it's a part of myself I want to rid. It's a part of myself I have to destroy. I have to do whatever I can to destroy it. To be something else. Something that stands on, I don't know. But I'm tired, right? I'm tired. I hate waking up feeling tired. I hate not trying my best. I hate saying something and then not following through with it. Not to say that happens all the time, but it happens. Like today, I said I'm not gonna eat. I ate, and I said it to myself, right? I just said I'm not gonna eat anything today. Yet, shit, there I was eating food. My boss offered me some food, and I was like, shit, yeah, sure, because it was nice food. Listen, it was pretty nice food, but still, I told myself I wouldn't eat. So, you know, be a man of your word. For the most part, yeah, I am, but there are those little things that it matters. As small as it may be, it matters. And it's just things like that. It's just things like that. Part of me doesn't want to change. But I know everywhere, every single part of my body, from just everything in me knows that I have to. I have to win against myself. I have to defeat my enemy. I'm the cure to the disease that I am. I am the disease and I am the cure. And I have to cure my disease, or else I'll die. And I will be the reason I die. And I hate that. The just the thought of me being the reason. It being my fault. I could have been something. I could have done great things. I could still be something, but I just didn't try. I stood in my own way and everything fell apart. I don't I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. So instead of a hyped up motivational video, you get this. Yeah. Um, I shall get through this, of course. It's just a matter of time. But that's what I hate. It doesn't have to take time. It doesn't have to. I could just and do away with the old, and here is the new, right? But it's so you we're taught to want things to be the same. We're taught to not to be scared of change. We're taught to be a certain way. And in being that certain way, we develop a character, a certain set of behaviors, habits, patterns, and we stick to those patterns. And again, our mind is in decay, yet we don't even realize it. We don't even realize it. I'm thinking of this one quote right now by, I think it was Leonardo da Vinci, where he said, iron rusts from disuse, water loses its purity from stagnation, and even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. Inaction saps the vigor of the mind. Not just that, it destroys your soul. It allows you to stay in this little comfort zone box, and it creates a greater monster of yourself, that which you have to destroy and defeat in order to then be outside of that box and stand in the realm of that which is not known, that which is different, outside your normal reality, outside the things that you're used to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Um, you just have to keep fighting, man. Because your enemy will never stop. Your enemy fights for its life. It's a battle to the death between you and your other self, the other part. I remember this one. It's interesting. Problem is you can't live together. One has to take over the other. I'm thinking of this character from a game I used to play where it's sort of the same concept. Two halves exist within the body, and only one can win. Only one can stay. There is no where we stand together and we work together. No, it's one fights for this and the other fights for that, and they're absolutely opposed. And this one fights for its life, and this one needs to fight for its life as well. But we're in a particular position where we, as this side, feel as though we don't need to fight for our life because this side is winning. That's kind of what's happening. The side of death is winning to a point where we feel as though we don't need to fight for life. Yeah, that's scary to think about. We don't need to fight for life because death is winning. And the side of death is extremely strong. It has the upper hand, it has the advantage. Yet we have to somehow try, make our way out of it. We have to find a way to succeed, to fight against it, against all odds, and win, right? What are the chances of that actually happening? What are the chances of that being you? What are the chances of it being me who is able to do that? If you genuinely look at the way things are now in real life, you'll find that not a lot of people are winning that battle. Not a lot of people are going to win that battle because it's already over in a way, as sad as that sounds. They've already lost. And they've lost because they 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 they're not trying anymore. It seems hopeless. It seems like an unwinnable battle, but and perhaps it is, in all honesty, perhaps it is. I don't look down on anyone who's decided to give up. I just hate that fact because this it's a quote by Norman Cousins. He says, I mean, not just Norman Cousins. There were other people that said it before Norman Cousins, but I just remember Norman Cousins. Perhaps there was one by Seneca with the same idea in mind that it is not what dies inside, it is not death that we should fear, but we should fear never beginning to live. Norman Cousins said, we, what did he say? I forgot it because I thought of the one by Seneca, but it's something, it's like, when death is not what a man should fear. No, he says it's something along the lines of there understand that we die. What? Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside of us whilst we live. I think that's what Norman Cousins said. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside of us whilst we live. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Right? The same sort of ideas implied, but two extremely different perspectives of that same thing. We fear death. That's why we give up. But the thing that is worse than death is the act of giving up, never beginning to live, allowing death to win, having that thing die inside of us whilst we live. Not being dead whilst being alive. It's like a zombie state. And I genuinely think the vast majority of the human species right now is in that zombie state. The state, just this sort of daze where they're not alive nor dead yet, right? They're just not dead yet, but they're alive, but they're not living. I think that's a better way of phrasing it. William Wallace said, "All men die, but not all men really live." That really living, not all men really live, and that's what happens when you just you give up when you allow the side of death to win. You don't live, and you suffer a lifeless existence. That's why I genuinely think that a lot of people are in that zombie state. I don't know what to call it, where it's just they're alive, but they're basically zombies. And they've lost all sense of life. They don't live anymore. I don't know. I don't know, but it's a I guess you could say it's a fear of mine to become like that, to be that. But I understand that to a very large degree I am that. It's like we're all zombies. We're living in the zombie apocalypse, right? And you're not the main character who's a human. You're a zombie. I'm a zombie. And there is no one coming to save us with a cure. There's no serum to this zombie disease that we all have. The only thing we can do is fight for life and transform ourselves back to humans who live. It's a very dangerous thing to do because when you are that human being that lives, other zombies will attack you. They come for you. That's just what they do. That's their nature. They attack you. They walk together, they follow each other, and they it's that's what it is. So when they smell life, they will come for you. But if you're just one of them, they'll walk right past, pay no attention, do nothing. But you're a zombie right now. I'm a zombie right now. I don't know about you, but I hate being a zombie. And I really want to live. I really want to be more than just alive, right? Never beginning to live. I want to begin to live. To reignite or be quote unquote reborn. The idea with the quote by Norman Cousins, it's not death that man should fear, but it um I forget the one by Norman Cousins, but it's what dies inside of us whilst we live. That thing that dies inside of you whilst you live, you can resuscitate it. You can bring it back to life. But it's not easy. And because it's not easy, people don't think it's actually possible. It is possible. You just have to sacrifice everything for it. Pretty much. And it's easy to say. It's a lot harder to understand and it's a lot harder to do. I don't want to be a zombie anymore. I want to live. I want to engage with the world. I want to be a part of life. All men die, but not all men really live. What is it to live then? I want to live. I want to experience the experience of living. And it requires a lot of courage to do that. It is then the greatest courage to dare to live. To dare to live. I can't, yeah, yeah, I don't know. Um, Kept you up for 30 minutes. Have a nice day, man. Have a nice day.